cruise is not doing well, right?
Yeah.
Things ain't looking good for him. Nah. I want to make sure these past couple days are good for him.
Yeah.
It's very tough to do that with everything going on. It's very tough to do that. And say, let's get out of the car and chit chat.
It's raining, Qatar.
It's raining. So last night, a lot happened.
Oh, fuck it, I'm sorry, chat.
I missed a nice chunk of it.
A lot happened last night.
But I woke up. Boys told me,
You guys can still hear, yeah?
come to T's yard. I go to T's yard. All the boys are yelling and screaming and yelling at each other.
Who?
Just everyone.
Yelling how?
Oh my god, what
Like
happened?
angry and disappointed and sad.
Who's
because
arguing that now? Who's fucking...
Guys,
Oh.
we're losing our leader.
What do you mean?
Last night, Tommy T stepped down as leader and wanted to leave the gang and wanted to leave the whole life behind him.
I mean, in fairness, chat, I think
Last
Tommy
night
T
was a
stepped
very
down as leader from the
emotional night.
Mandem, like what? A year ago.
And
In reality.
I asked him a question. I said, are you leaving because you think it's the best for the gang? Or are you leaving?
No, but it's true,
best
it's not
for
his
you?
fault. He hasn't been around as much, has he? Because
He
he's a busy
said-
guy.
I want to leave because of both. And I'm not gonna lie, at the moment, I did certain things where in a sense I gaslit him to kind of stay. Mosley dropped his chain. Once Mosley dropped his chain, I told him if I had my chain with me, I would have dropped it too. Just to show him that if he leaves, there will be no gang. And after I slept on it, thought about it, it's tough. Because last night was more emotional than anything. It's my day one of my day ones. I only have a couple day ones left. Wanted to leave the gang. He was put in charge of the lead. And
Wait,
from
Moses
the...
was put in charge?
Sorry?
What did you say he was put in charge?
Well, when he was put in charge, it was voted that he was the leader. Way back in the day.
Oh, yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in day.
And I'm not gonna lie, it ain't looking good. Yes, last night, we might have made him stay for a bit. But if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think he only did that so that we can change up and be the best gang we are before he leaves.
So people left the gang then, yeah? But yesterday as well. When T did that, people left?
Nobody left officially, but it was more the principle of showing him if you're gone, a lot of other people will be gone too. I mean,
Now,
either
are you guys doing that because that's true? If he leaves, you're out, or do you do that to try to keep him?
I did it because I wanted to keep him,
Okay.
just to show him the consequences.
But
Because we told him before that, if you're doing it for what you think is the best for the gang, this is what would happen to the gang. You know?
yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough.
But I think the point is, and what was in my mind last night was when I asked him, are you doing it for because it's best for the gang or for yourself? And he said both. So
So
in my
people are in
mind,
the gang for Tommy?
you can't beg someone to stay in your
Kind of
life,
obvious, no, though, fellas?
especially if that's not what they want.
I think I understand him too, brother, because when he
Time to go.
created this to be what it
Guys,
is,
time to go.
he was
Yeah.
around a
Guys,
lot
time!
more, you know, from what I'm getting. I wasn't here for that, but from what I can tell and from what it seems, he was around a lot, no?
Yeah, he was around a lot.
And he's not. So for me, it feels like he's trying to be, or he wants to be, a free agent, and I don't think he would create something else.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he'd create something else, but I also think it's, you know the saying, if you love someone, let them go and let them fly.
What?
it's like with a girlfriend or a wife, brother.
What's
You
that-
can't. If they
what's
want
that
to leave,
saying?
you need to let them leave.
Yeah, and that's the thing is,
If you love them, let them go.
yeah, last night we might
Huh?
have made him stay for a bit, but I just think it's temporary.
Of course, we're gonna fight for him, brother. He's a fucking
Yeah.
leader. He's the fucking soul.
Yeah, but last night when he left, we got him to stay for a week. He said we have a week's time to show our actions that we can make a change and we can make a difference.
Yeah.
And he's there was a vote.
I'm not gonna lie, if he wants to leave, and I don't understand why. Unfortunately, like somebody wants to leave and they're not in it, you just gotta let him go, you know?
No,
And then-
100%. That's why last night was more of an emotional night.
There's
And I'd
nothing-
say
there's-
he's already gone.
Yeah,
but he
there's
just
no, he is.
stayed.
There's nothing that anybody's gonna do in the space of a month that, you know, that we haven't been able to do in the space of 6 months, you know? That any of us are gonna do in a week that's gonna make him change his mind.
No,
Yeah,
and that's the thing is, that's why last night was more of an emotional night, and I see him only saying that for the benefit of us.
Yeah.
I say he's already gone,
Yeah, 100%.
and
That's
there's no, as much as I want him in my life still, I don't think that's it's tough because he is my day one, and he's my family before anything else.
Yeah.
So I'd hope, even if he were to leave, I could still spend time with him. But also, I don't know how my gang would like that.
What do you mean?
How you guys, how everyone would feel.
Why would
If
anybody?
he left the
I'm not gonna lie.
gang.
Why would anybody be against you spending time with him if he left the gang when people have spent fucking however long begging him to stay last night?
I was
No.
one of the people that were begging him to stay.
Yes, but what I'm
too.
saying is nobody's going to turn on Tommy T, regardless of whether he leaves the Mandem or whether he
No.
stays in it.
I think that's the thing. It's a tough thing. And it's a
Here-
tough spot we're in right now. And
Here's the thing.
yeah.
If he left because he gives up on us because who we are,
Mhm.
and he goes and does a whole new thing, that would rub me the wrong way, you know?
Yeah, I don't think
Uh,
that's his
but-
intentions. Though.
No, so we just need to let him like breathe, you know, like do what you want, brother. If you're not here to lead us and you need to go do something else, we have to respect that, you know?
The problem is as well, regardless of how much he's been around and how much he hasn't, you know,
Mhm.
we can blame that on him. But it hasn't
Yeah.
changed the fact that everything that's happened in the gang over the past 12 months has always been subjective to the what would Tommy do? What would Tommy
Yeah.
say? What would
Yeah.
Tommy think? Oh, I hope
I
he's
I
happy.
think that's what he wants
you
to
know?
break, though. I think,
I can't
I
lie
think-
though, Petar.
yeah,
Even though he hasn't been around, just knowing that he is the leader, just knowing that he can wake up, that he's around but he's not around, that holds a lot of weight, you know. It makes-
1000%.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
think that's the cycle he wants to break.
It's like we're losing man and now we're just them.
Yeah. No, and I think that's why he wants to leave, because that's the cycle he wants to break. He wants the gang to flourish without, oh, Tommy this, oh, Tommy that, oh, Tommy this, oh, Tommy that. He wants the gang to flourish
Yeah,
as
well,
a gang.
In an ideal world, brother, he
Yeah.
would be around on a daily, if not every other day. Like not super active, but still be in here, right? Like that. The ideal would be he's here,
Yeah.
but he's not,
the thing
right?
is as well, he must feel like he's holding the gang back, or he wouldn't want to leave. And you know,
1000%. Because I felt like that.
yeah, but I wish, you know, I wish that was the case.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, him
Yeah.
leaving won't have the desired effect on the Mandem that he thinks. But
Nah, definitely
it will
not.
still make, you know, if that's the decision he wants to make for himself, then at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to be in a gang anymore, then unfortunately that's something that you know, we have to get to grips with.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I think from my point of view, you know, I was picked up by the Mandem. Obviously, I didn't necessarily come in through T. I met him a bits along the way, but my loyalties lie with the Mandem. And
Same.
regardless of who's going to come and go, and you know, I think sometimes it's better just to, yes, he is the creator, you know, the original, that he is the Mandem, you know, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's necessarily over unless we let it. But
No.
at the same
I think-
time, you know, it's going to be tough, but it just means we all have to get behind, you know, the people that are in them command roles, the people that do take the, you know, the reins, and just make sure that
I
we're
think-
doing everything we can, like, as a collective.
Yeah. And I think that's what Tommy wants is I genuinely think the only reason he gave us the quote unquote week was to actually get people into motion, to actually get them to follow that command, to show that there is a change before he actually leaves. Sorry.
He's he already made up his mind long ago.
Yeah. No, and
He
that's,
would,
that's
brother, he wouldn't come back and try out new leaders to see who's good or not. You
Yeah.
feel me? Because
Yeah.
when he did that, and he's like, okay, who's gonna do this and that, like Matthew for a week or a day or whatever it was, and who else? Who do you think? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I wanted to get like an
To
audience with
get
him,
to-
me and him, and I was
I
gonna
ain't
say,
fucking
like,
no
right,
thanks, mate.
So when are you leaving, brother? Like how long do we
Yeah.
got? Because
No.
I knew he was gonna leave.
No, and that's the thing is I'll review it as he left. But last night was more emotions versus what's
Shock,
best for the
yeah.
gang.
That's been on
you
his
know?
mind for a long time, though. You know,
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, what I was telling the boys is things went south when we tried being someone.
did
we
you know
weren't,
any of this
'cause
OIC? No idea,
Tommy's
mate.
even lost himself. Tommy never used to be this dickhead.
Honestly, I had no idea.
He never used to
I
be
was
this
asleep
grumpy,
before 10 fucking PM,
angry
mate.
guy
Like I'm streaming at
has
8
no
AM.
soul.
So what? Like, how am I gonna know any of this?
What do you mean? We went from something to something else. Can you elaborate on that?
He started burning these bridges, he started doing this, he started doing that. But that's not him. He
What's going
as
on?
much as I lost myself as 2IC, he lost himself when he was the leader. You know?
Yeah.
what?
So
What's
to
going
him
on?
it wasn't fun to wake up anymore. It was babysit, do this,
Yeah.
do that, do this, do
Yeah.
that.
Huh?
But in the other sense, see, like I get that from like a 2IC standpoint, because I can't lie, it got to me some days, you know?
Yeah, brother, you've been a lot happier since you're no longer to see.
But he wants the gang to snowball without him, you know?
I mean, I like I say, I don't really know what was said and what happened, but the gist, you know, the gist of it all is I can. At the end of the day, if he doesn't have the time to commit to a, you know, it's like the Mandem is like his child, you know,
Mhm.
and he's not had time to commit to nurturing that child and it becoming, you know, what he wanted it to be, you know. So
No,
rather than
100%.
rather than to continue and neglect the child, you know, he's giving
Bring
it
up for
to
adoption.
giving it to a good home, in hope that they do a better job than him because they can dedicate more time to it.
Yeah. And guided the direction he couldn't guide it to. Or I couldn't guide it to, you know? So, speaking of adoption,
The thing is, Patar, I know you're saying you couldn't guide it there, but unfortunately, nobody with T as the leader, everybody was failing as second in command, unfortunately. And I think regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what I understand there might be people that, you know, would have been better for that position. I'm not saying you were the best one, but everybody would have fell short of T if they were second in command trying to run the gang on their own.
Yeah. So let me say something. The thing is, where do we go from here? Everybody needs to come to themselves and see, is this still what you want to do? Do you still want to hold this up? Do you want to be part of this? And it can't be half-hearted. It needs to be 100%, especially now. It's very fragile. So if you have doubts, then everybody needs to know this person has doubts. If you're 100% in it to stay, and you're gonna stay no matter what, then we need to know that as well. Second of all, we need to know the direction of the gang. Who do we want to be? And then we put whoever we think is the best person to put us in that direction, period.
So that's the thing is...
and there's only one...
Sparky was put as our leader last night.
Yeah, I was assuming that's what you were trying to get to.
It's a good point. It's a good choice.
Yeah. I think Sparky can do it. But the thing is, regardless what we do, I think, like, T is gone. I think that's the big picture, though, is he only said that to see change before he disappears. You know?
I want to ask
that's what I would do, too. What's that?
Who made SK the leader?
It was everyone at the meeting.
Okay.
T said vote
that's fine.
on a new leader, and everyone said
that's
Sparky,
good.
Sparky.
That's the way it should have happened, because at the end of the day now, right, if all of them people have stood in that circle and said they want SK to be the leader of this gang, and any one of them, you know, steps out of line or gives him a hard time in moving this gang forward, then all of them need to be held fucking accountable for their actions. It would have been a different story if T would have said, right, I want SK. But everybody that was there, you know, that has chosen to made that decision to put Sparky in that command role, needs to give him the respect and decency as a gang leader to move this gang forward.
Yeah. And they can't complain.
Although he needs to earn it too.
Yeah, but you say he needs to earn it, but he's still being put there by people, you know?
Here's the thing. He's at one. He's very high up for me right now to lead the gang, but he needs to show us.
SK is the only choice to lead the gang.
He can't just continue. Like, he's doing great as a member, but being a leader, he needs to step up from now on. You know, he needs to move us all in a direction and facilitate where we want to go. Yeah, I think so too.
I think he will. And I think
so too.
Especially as we are in a vulnerable state as a gang, we all need to make sure we're helping him succeed. You know?
But that's what I'm saying.
Can I ask you something, Patar?
Yeah.
Sorry, Denzel. I want to ask Patar this, and I'm gonna ask you too. But knowing how deep you go with Moses and T.
Yeah.
Are you 100% gonna stay?
As long as the gang doesn't push me out, yeah.
People stop
perfect.
Fucking calling me, bro.
Put it on silence, man.
As long as the gang doesn't push me out, I'm here to stay. As long as there's...
Would you say
we are building on the gang and going the right direction, I am here to stay. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, brother.
He's my day one, they're my day ones. But when I joined Mandem, I never... It was the family I chose to stay with. I was NBC. I was on the top. NBC back in the day was more feared than Chang'an. Like, I've been there. I've had that life. I've tasted that syrup. You know? So as long as we are being a gang where it's enjoyable to stay in, I'm not going anywhere. But if there were to ever come a point where I wasn't wanted in the gang, or, you know...
but that goes for everybody, brother. That goes for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
You're not gonna be another dad telling us you're going for milk and then you're gone.
Yeah.
and then we see you.
Like I'm not gonna stay somewhere I'm not wanted. You know. That's what I mean.
You're always gonna be wanted, Patar.
Yeah.
And I think it was a
That's
long
that's the
time
only
ago
time I would actually leave.
when Patar was in Embassy Armour as well.
What about you, Denzel? How you feel? I know you don't have a lot of. You like me. You haven't seen T that much, brother.
This might sound stupid. My loyalties don't necessarily lie with T. My loyalties lie with the Mandem as a whole. Obviously, he was the leader of the gang. I did spend quite a bit of time with him. I had some memorable moments that I will remember. But, you know, at the end of the day, I wasn't brought in by T necessarily, you know? And I have a lot of love and respect for everybody in this gang, providing that it still kind of exists. You know, this is the place that took me in after I, you know, left the South. I have no plan to leave.
Yeah. What was that all talks about that T said? Didn't he say like you either step up and somebody to be able to lead or like be in second in command, or I'll bring people in, you know?
Yeah. He did say that.
I was hoping he was gonna like, nah, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. I know I was late to the conversation, but the boys mentioned this wouldn't have happened if you didn't talk to Miguel. So I don't know what happened between Miguel and Tommy.
What do you mean this wouldn't happen here? What do you mean?
I came to the meeting late. That's the only thing I know is I think it was James that said it. He said this wouldn't have happened if you didn't talk to Miguel.